Hello, ladies. I hope that your day is going well. In this video, I want to talk about the new chapter that Angela White is embarking upon, and she's formerly known as Blac Chyna. But Angela is hitting the reset button, and there are some changes she's been making in her life that have really made a positive impact. And so I want to talk about the transformation she's going through. But first, one thing I want to talk about is I feel like in this space, sometimes things can become very negative. There is something that I have noticed over the past 6 months or so where there's the infighting among content creators, there's people being sued, and what can happen if we are not really mindful about our platform, our channel, is that if we're not mindful, if we do not stay on course, on path, on track, we can find ourselves veering off into very negative territory. There are content creators that skew very much towards negativity, skew very much towards anger, where what is the end result of watching the video? What is the viewer supposed to take away from the video? Is it empowering? Is it uplifting? Or is it really more devastating? Is it very demoralizing? Is it depressing? And one thing that's very important for me is to first and foremost, to promote spirituality and faith and drawing closer to God. Also looking at leveling up and avoiding dysfunctional relationships so that we can thrive and prosper and be the best version of ourselves. So that's very important. I thought that the recent story in the news about Angela has been a very timely transformation that has taken place, and I think it's very inspiring. I watched the interview that she did with Tamron Hall, and I also watched the video that she did with TMZ. And so there has been a transformation that's been happening with her over about roughly a year. On her birthday last year, she was baptized and she was reborn. She has been, according to her interview, focusing on sobriety and solitude, reading her Bible. And there's been some recent changes that have very much been in the news where she has talked about removing fillers, removing her tattoos, removing her acrylics, removing additions that she's made to her body, enhancements, and removing them. And this is part of her transformation. Also, no longer being a part of OnlyFans and now going by her given name, which is Angela White versus Blac Chyna, which was more of her entertainment name. But, reclaiming her name and really shifting, really focusing on drawing closer to God, focusing on being a positive role model for her two children. And this is something that you can really see when you look at her in the interview. Glowing. You can see that she really seems to be in a good place. And I think that it's very profound what has happened to her. I think it's very inspiring for any of us as women. We can have a turning point where we know that we haven't been living life to the fullest, where we know that there are things that we need to discard and where we need to turn the page. And we can start over even if it's starting today, even if it's starting this moment, we can start over. And I think that's very important that we not get caught up in our past and in terms of being overwhelmed by shame, mistakes we may have made, wrong turns we may have taken, and continuing to focus on that and letting that be an impediment to us changing so that we are able to focus on thriving, focusing on connecting to God and finding out what is our purpose, what are we here for, and being on that path where we're living the best version of ourselves. And also leaving behind those things that are toxic, dysfunctional, harmful, traumatic, dramatic, that don't serve us in any capacity to enhance our life. The things that are very negative versus positive, where we're going down paths that are not beneficial for us. And in Angela talking about her removing the different enhancements she's had, the fillers and the nails, and definitely leaving OnlyFans, because that's not the role modeling that she wants to have for her two children who are growing up. And as they're getting older, she wants them to see her being positive. And also, again, that relationship, having that affirming relationship with God and finding out her purpose and walking in it is so very important for each and every one of us to know that we can trust in God and rely on Him and draw closer to Him and find out what our purpose is, so that we are aligning with that and walking in that. And it's so very important. I thought that it is wonderful that she is speaking out about the changes that she has made, because I think that it can be very inspiring to other women, whether you are 34 like her, 24, 54, even 74. We don't have to be weighed down, and we don't have to be mired in the past or what we were yesterday. And as a famous person, of course, she's out there in the spotlight. So there's going to be lots of reminders of who she was and what she wore and different things she was engaged in, but she's not letting that stop her. She's hitting the reset button and starting a new chapter. And that's what any of us can do. We can start a new chapter. We can turn the page. We can hit the reset button, regardless of whatever we've previously involved in, and not let the shame overwhelm us to where we are staying stuck, where we are in a broken place, where we are in a place where we're downtrodden and we're feeling ashamed and we're feeling so broken that we feel like we can't get up and that we can't move forward. So that is why it's so important for us to reach healing, for us to be in a healed place where we are no longer broken, where we are no longer in a place where the pain is a daily part of our schedule and it is a ongoing issue that is constraining us and it is overwhelming us and it is limiting us and it's encumbering us to where we can't move forward and have a better life. And we can do that. We can do that. And I just want to encourage each and every woman that is watching this video that you don't have to be held back by what happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even yesterday. That we can hit the reset button, that we can turn the page, that we can move forward, and that we can reclaim our happiness and our health and our wellness and our peace of mind. We can reclaim that and go back to that. And no one has the right to keep us held in this trap of what happened in the past in terms of the denigration and the demeaning and the criticism that's nonstop, and of really holding us back from having a better life and moving on and moving forward. And for her, I think it's very important when you look at the video when she is speaking with Tamron and being addressed as Angela and introduced as Angela and saying, this is the name that I now answer to. Someone may call us different things, but what do we answer to? We can determine that. Again, we can hit the reset button. We can turn the page. We can start the new chapter and say, this is who I am today. And I choose not to be stuck in the past, and I choose not to be held back based on what happened before. I can turn the page. I can walk down a new path, a better path, a greater path, and not have the past determine. Very inspiring turn of events and a change and a transformation and a reset and a new chapter for Angela. And I just hope and I will pray for each woman watching this video that if there is a need to turn the page and hit the reset and walk into a new chapter, that you will feel encouraged and empowered and affirmed to do that. This has been Veronica Vaughn, also known as Veronica V. So let me know what you think in the comments beneath the video. As always, be blessed, continue to level up, stay far away from the struggle matrix, because you deserve better.